I'm doing a garden video, just showing what I did. I'll talk about this in steps, what I did yesterday. And it's my secrets. All these going around this fence as best we can. We got marigolds. And these are my plants from last year. So I dug some of these up. I had a couple of packets of them. And I'll explain what I did here in a minute in the video when I show the products I have. Got a couple of beans, green beans, cucumbers, the corn's going a little bit slow, but we've got more nitrogen added to our fertilizer, so eggplants are going really slow, but that's okay. You just seen my eggplants from last year. I grew them late in the year. I dug these up in here, and then we added these from a nursery. We're doing marigolds around in different places, mainly kind of on the ends, and then these are all my peppers, all my pepper plants. I got those in there. That's where the dogs or animals or something haven't dug up. We have about 80 that we've started from seed, and I took care of them pretty good in pots. And then we have these few that we added on the another nursery, from the same nursery. I don't know. We got it from outside source. And then we're doing these onions down the middle. Let's see how these things start taking off now that I have more fertilizers added to my stuff, and we'll go through that in a second. I'll give you my couple of my trade secrets. This is okra. And we got a new freezer, so we're gonna do a lot of okra and a lot of different plants as much as we can, and put them in our new freezer that we have. Cord, here we go. Alright, here's a couple of different products that I used out in the garden. We'll start with the first one. I had this sort of donated to me. This one of those granule feeders. They use them for Scots or whatever. But I use this for spreading like manure. I take chicken manure and smash it like flat and make it kind of a powder and dry it out, and then I put it in this, and I use that and spread it around in my garden like kind of evenly. Then right before I use these products from Ace Hardware, I made some chicken manure tea, which I made a video already on how I did that. So first thing is this 5, 4, 6. So I'll use these. I put this a little bit on everything, and then I watered it in from the top. Because of the way that it is, I used a glove to reach in there and grab it and spread it around. Even though it's all organic, but this adds 5% nitrogen on top of what my chicken manure is, so I have to be careful and neutralize the chicken manure, but it's gonna be like high. It's gonna be like probably like a 16 or 17, maybe even 20 nitrogen. I don't even know. We got Osmocote, and I'm planning on saving this and not using this until the plants are a little bit more mature. It says it has a 14, 14, 14. So keeping a track of all those variables. When my plants start to bloom more, I'm going to want the other various blooming chemicals to kick in more. And then we used some of this stuff. And we just took a spoon like this and kind of dusted the plant like that. It's you can eat it. I wouldn't eat like too much of it. I mean, I'm just saying it's ingestible and it's not harmful to you or your crops or what you're doing. Alright, and then basically that's what I added to the garden too. Put a organic touch to it so that it doesn't have any chemicals in it. I'll probably get a tester, soil tester. I can test my own fertilizer that I produce myself, and if I remember anything else, I'll let you know here in a minute. Hey, how you doing? Doing a garden video. We got some trade secrets that we're going to share. Obviously, if you like it, then it's not a bad thing for me to share garden secrets, because they're shared amongst people who like to garden anyways. So we'll talk a little bit about like crop dusting, type of like on your own, type of like stuff that you can get. That's a grade that it just basically says don't touch it with your hands when it's wet. Use gloves, take precautions like that, so they don't want it seeping into your skin. It's a water base, not an oil base anyway, so it's fairly safe, I would say. I would think. So anyhow, what I use is a stuff. It's called Seven Dust, and um, Seven Dust. It's right here. This is what I use. See how the sand comes up around here? This it was on the ground whenever the sand came up on it, but the rain beats on the ground and makes it come up. Very reactive like that. But this right here is what I usually spray on there for pests to keep bugs off of it. And that's a tomato that I found come up. Evidently, my chickens eat tomato seeds, and they crap the stuff out and produce tomatoes all the time, I believe. And I believe that when it goes through your chicken like that, if you're able to grow one of these successfully, even if it's kind of a commercial seed, for some reason it goes through the chicken. I must say this because um, I have kind of taken a little bit of an awareness to this, so I'm not just blowing smoke up your yang for this. I'm telling you the truth. That they make the plant go back to about as natural as you can get, I believe, when it goes through a bird. If you can get it to go through a bird and then to poop it out for you, you can grow a plant out of that. And look how healthy that is. Chicken. That's like one of my favorite chickens right now that I have. I have two favorite ones. And then I have a couple that are pretty good too. But anyhow, this I just added this. See the 5 right there, 511. So you're adding that much nitrogen is basically what I'm focused in on right now. Um, for what I am trying to come up with, produce for my own personal fertilizer that I use or whatever. I'm trying to find something really quick. It's gonna take me a second because I don't see it. You've seen the 7 dust. Now I'm trying to show you something else, and it's basically the stuff that I'm gonna show you in the video. In this video that I'm gonna attach to this is called Diatomaceous Earth. I guess some people are calling it DE or something like that. I guess I don't know, but whatever. I tried not to mention it at all because I didn't really want to confuse anything or anybody with what I use. But I used that at the very end, and I'm not going to water for 3, maybe 5 days. If the different fertilizers that I just put into my soil and stuff reacts the way that I want it to, the nitrogen is going to be feeding the plants well enough. Basically, they can give their roots kind of time to grow, structure, and kind of spread out a bit, and be able to take the dryness a little bit more from the nitrogen, I believe. The the plant food that's in there already. They don't need the water necessarily, and I'm trying to promote more root growth right now, in particular, to get these plants well established. And I want to see them basically um, kind of um, being very productive here real quick with the different products that I've been basically blessed with, so to speak. That's what we invested um, for our garden. It's rather large. Um, I don't know. I'd say we have probably close to maybe, I don't know. I know that it's going to be well into about 30 plants of uh, okra. And then we have a bunch of onions, and the onions will eat those too, or whatever we're gonna do with those. We're not gonna let anything go to waste. We do composting also, um, but we're gonna freeze some of the stuff. And the onions, I did a row of onions right down the middle of the garden, and they are one type of thing I'm trying to use to promote for like a pesticide, like it's like a pest repellent. So then I have another pest repellent. As soon as they start, even though basically in a marigold plant, the smell of the plant itself, even without, as long as it's a healthy plant, it doesn't really need the buds on it. I mean, it's very good that you have good active healthy buds on your marigolds, but your marigold plant has a smell that is a repellent to bugs too. It detracts bugs. It makes them want to get away from your plants. So that, and keeping um, like the grass trimmed down around your vegetables and stuff and your fruit, and the weeds out, because weeds also, especially here in North Florida, brings in bugs as well. It's a bug um, attractor, would you say? to have weeds in your garden. So any type of garden at all, the more that you have the weeds pulled up and taken away and removed from any type of garden at all, the better off you are, because that acts as itself as a bug repellent as in itself. So I don't know if people realize that or thought about that or not, but we work on pest repellent big time. We might even maybe grow a couple of tomato plants, maybe bring them in the house, try to keep a couple alive and take care of them, try to keep them bloomed and whatnot. Inside the house, maybe. I'm thinking whenever it comes to a point where our tomato garden goes to the crappers, it's probably better off that you just compost mostly all of your tomato plants. I don't know if you're um, speaking of attracting different kinds of bugs or species of bugs, but your tomato plants after June here also attracts a horn caterpillar that is terrible. It goes from a little tiny bug like that to a gigantic like bug like that overnight by eating your plant. Basically, I don't know. It turns into some kind of bat or something. But anyways, so I have that, and I have marigolds that we're planting around in different places. We're doing um, a lot. I had started with over 80 uh, pepper plants, so we have probably roughly about that the same number. We're gonna try to keep everything, like I said, all of the foods and everything levels up and whatnot. We're doing all organic thing right now, so I sprayed them all with seven dust when I brought these other plants in and added them to what we already had, and um, I had sprayed a little bit, like probably like I think it was the day before we actually got these other plants, and um, then basically, um, I sprayed them all again, all at once. You're not supposed to touch that seven dust stuff at all or the plants until they dry. So it's probably a good idea to do them on a dry day. Let your plant absorb that, and that's what I did with the diatomaceous earth last night. The last thing that I did was I kept filling up a milk jug with water, and then I would put a cap full of my um, fish emulsion, uh, fish food or fish fertilizer for your plants, plant food or whatever. I did a gallon. I kept doing a gallon until I did every single plant. I hit every single plant. Was the last thing that I did was use um, this. I'll show it again one more time. Let's see here. Look these up. Plant. It's fish, fish fertilizer, fish emulsion. I took that. I kept filling this bucket up, and then I kept filling the jug up, and then I would take a cap full and put that into the jug, and then I spread that around the whole entire garden. Is what I did. So after I did that, I took the DE or whatever they're trying to call it stuff now, the diatomaceous earth stuff. I've known about that for a while too, because like I said, I've been into gardening for about almost 20 years. I'm like super good at it. I'm like the kind of guy that can show up to somewhere where plants are like that, and I'll make them all like, "Ooh." I'll have them singing like the day after. I'm like that good with plants. I'm just a wizard like green thumb. Like I am like the wizard green thumb, basically, of plants. Basically, so not that I haven't done things to bring guilt on myself, like haven't killed plants or done anything bad, like anything human, like other people before. I'm just very observant and very good at what I do now. So, anyways, we did the um, one fertilizer. It looked like it was a that was in a plastic bag that I said I did first in the video. It looked like um a like 5 4 6, so it was maybe more like a bloom food. But the reason why I put that on there is because I would like to have over 5 or over 16 on my bloom level right now anyways, and I'm not trying to go too high over um 25 or 20 on my nitrogen level. So that's also why I use that. Not necessarily trying to bloom my plants right now. I'm trying to bring my nitrogen level up as close to 26 maybe as I can. And I would have possibly have gone over, and then I would have cooked my garden if I would have put the Osmocote on there, and that Osmocote stuff said 16, 16, 16. So I'm going to have to wait until my plants are matured, and it's a time release granule that'll be on there for like 2 months. So when I put that on, I might want to stir the top soil up a little bit, plant that in, mix it in really good, like you would see actually in like a planter. Like, and the soil is really looking that good right now. It's got a real, you know, dark, enriched texture look to it right now. It looks really awesome. We've been working with it, this particular spot, for over a year now. It looks really nice. Excuse me. Anyways, so um, we'll wait on the Osmocote until these things get going here pretty quick, and then we'll wait on the bloom food for right now until the plants get big again, and we want to start seeing more crop, get more you know maybe what I'm saying is you're yielding your crops or whatever. Then we'll put some more of that bloom food that I showed earlier that I put on there. First off, we'll start using that again when the it's time to start producing our crops rapidly, like super fast. And our odds are super great. So we went and used that. Uh, we had the chicken manure we mixed into a powder and then spread to where there was a thin layer across the whole garden. We spread that with that spreader that I showed in the video also, that we've done so far for a couple of weeks, um, working with the garden. And then we just made our chicken manure tea. We neutralize it with a big pot of boiling water that we pour right into a bucket that we have of manure, chicken manure, and then we kind of mix that all up and get that all, finely blended and mixed up with our shovel. And then I used that with a with the same um, milk jugs that you seen there. I kept filling it up and would keep refilling, is how I was taught how to use the manures. Whenever you boil it up, you do a big pot, or you do like what I do is a bucket, individual buckets. It's like maybe like steer manure, so maybe it might be closer to 10 nitrogen level on your nitrogen, but I think it's more like 16 or 17. So I need to be really, very careful with it. It's not like a mild 5 like the fish uh, fertilizer was, the fish emulsion. So, anyways, then we put the plant food. Um, that's basically for blooming. Is your 5, 4, 6 stuff that I showed that was in the bag. We spread that a little bit around the soil, on the soil, not on the plant. And then we took the fish emulsion and we kept filling the thing up after we watered the whole place really good. We watered that plant food into our soil really good for our plants to make that blend from right on the top, because it's so fine it'll just blend right in nicely like that. Then after that, I worked with the fish emulsion and kept filling the gallon jug up, and then I put a capful in there, and I went around every single plant on the whole entire garden lot that we got a garden at, our garden in. And then the very last step was I went around and I sprinkled that diatomaceous earth on everything, and it should take care of the mites also that I was showing earlier. We were taking our leaves off that were turned yellow already. The season's not cold like it is up north here now. Now it's like nice weather, and it'll be like that. It's not going to freeze again here, so we're in the clear as far as our garden is concerned, and we're able to do all these different things very productively, and start early. We're probably about a month early, um, than we were from last year, and it's looking pretty good. And that's exactly how you want to do it. You want to put that diatomaceous earth and dust it right on top of everything, maybe while it's wet like that, so it has a little bit of time to blend and kind of grow into the plant a bit. These bugs are going to be eating the leaves and other stuff like that, so you want to kill them, and that stuff could react, possibly has a great potential to do that before the plants even have a chance to destroy your garden, really. So it's really good stuff. That's how you want to do it. That's what you want a organic garden like that. That's how you basically do one. We don't do any, what I was going to say, we use all natural fertilizers. We don't use any synthetic fertilizers at all. You know, the Osmocote is basically stuff that they gather and put together in a granule. It's all natural. That's why people um, prefer it and like it a lot. So anyhow, that's the video for now. I gotta add this here with all the rest of them to make the whole video I'm trying to make. Thanks.